It's 5 o'clock on a cold winter day, the snow falling wet and heavy. I sit in the bar where I had my first legal drink at 19, 66 years ago. I stare out the window that used to be half covered in plywood and now shines like a mirror, reflecting back a younger version of me. People come in and out of the bar, some nodding to me, some pretending not to notice. Cold air comes in with them. There's a hole in my jeans where the cold settles on my skin. Chained to a pole outside, an old bicycle sinks beneath the growing blanket of snow. Even chained, the bike still appears to be in motion. It's a 1966 Schwinn Paramount, the same year I was born. The ram horn handlebars are spun around so they face forward and upright like joysticks on a video game. The stem and wheels shine bright chrome, but deep scars on the gunmetal gray paint reveal the truth that the frame has seen better days. There are no brakes, no gears, no cables, only a single fixed gear. The only way to stop or slow down is to slam the pedal crank still. No wonder I've laid this relic down so many times. I sip my whiskey from behind the glass. It's a cheap Canadian blend, absolute shit whiskey. It burns all the way down. But as I am between paychecks, I focus more on the warmth in my belly than the taste in my mouth. I chase with a $2 American beer, the way I was taught by my great-grandfather, my old pa. He was 85 years old then, the same age I am now, and still full of his own vibrant warmth. It is a warmth I feel lacking within myself lately. With my left hand, I clink on the neck of the bottle with the plain gold ring he left me when he died. Some 130 years after he put it on my great-grandmother's finger, it's still as round as the day he bought it. With my other hand, I peel the label from the bottle, roll it into a ball, throw it toward the small metal can next to the wall. In the dim light of the bar, I can't see whether it goes in or not. But by the small tin sound of the label hitting the can, I'm sure it does. I remember the flow of the old man's sinew beneath tan leather skin, the glow from his halo of white curls, the distant look in his eyes when he talked about family. I'm still a bit of gristle and sinew myself, but I have precious little family to talk about now. To those who still survive me, I am but a ghost. A young girl, perhaps 3 years old, runs on the sidewalk, wearing a puffy pink jacket and a bright pink beanie that says princess on it, and overlarge rubber boots. Her cheeks are flushed from the cold. She falls face first in the snow. She sits up, licking snow from her lips. She touches her snow-covered face with mittened hands, her expression halfway between a smile and no expression at all. It is my guess she has not seen snow before. Another little girl, no more than a year older, comes running up. She is similarly dressed, same pink jacket, same overlarge rubber boots, but with a purple Minnie Mouse beanie. She picks up the younger girl, barely able to wrap her short, childish arms around her sister's puffy jacket. As the older girl brushes snow from her younger sister's jacket, the little princess's brows come together. She smiles, picks up a handful of snow and throws it at her big sister. Miss Minnie is stunned for a moment, and then her face relaxes into a smile of her own. Snow starts flying between the two children. War is declared. I'm not done yet. But thank you. That's never happened yet, has it? Okay. Hello, Cleveland. Who got that? Okay. A young mother runs up, slides on the ice, struggles not to fall. She carries another child, perhaps 1 year old. His face is barely visible from under the pink and purple hood of what has to be one of his sister's hand-me-down jackets. He looks at me as if I'm the only thing there is to see. His dark caramel eyes, almost too large for his face, are wide, remarkably focused. A single dark lock curls down to a small round nose. A baby's unjaded smile splits his pink face. My eyes water. My face hurts from the smile that threatens to split my face. A young father follows behind the young mother. He struggles with a two-seater baby carriage half full of packages from the discount store down the street. He slips in the snow, sweaty face flushed. His eyes are dark, full of despair, like a cougar caught in a tree by corporate hunters in $300 hunting shirts. He does not look happy. He falls to one knee in the snow, looks past my face, watching from inside the glass, to the roaring fire from the wood stove in the corner, to the happy people bellied up to the bar, to the dogs asleep on the floor, basking in the glow from the afternoon sun. A pair of college-age men discuss the latest trades in professional sports. A young couple, perhaps on a first date, exchange forced laughter. The woman looks bored. The man is trying not to get caught staring at the young woman's breasts. There are several other men and women sitting at the bar, older, more wizened, deep in their whiskey and beer, none of them talking to each other, as if they already know each other's stories. I wonder if any of them knew my great-grandfather, but they are younger than I by at least a decade or two, far too young to have shared shots with the old man. He would be over 140 years old by now. Surely any of his cronies, young or old, would be long gone by now. All but me, of course. I've outlived them all. Still not done. Getting close. The young father looks back to me. He has gone as far as he wants to in this frigid weather. His wife, 3 children in tow, speaks to him, silent to my ears. He nods and taps in agreement, never taking his eyes from me. His chin falls to his chest, eyes closed in resigned acceptance of his responsibilities. The 2 little girls still throw snow at each other, as well as passing cars. He stands, takes the baby from his wife and deposits him in the rear of the stroller. He speaks sharply to the other children. They grab their mother's hand obediently. My beer and whiskey are both empty. I stand to get another round. All 5 of them stare at me as if my every movement determines their future. A large blue 4x4 truck drives by, splashing the entire family in cold slush. Without thinking, I open the door and invite them in. Inside, the young mother strips her children of outerwear. All 3 children squeal like Christmas morning joy as they run and crawl near naked through the bar, past pictures of 20th century baseball players, 19th century poets, and a 1940s picture of my great-grandmother singing black and white in front of a piano. We introduce ourselves. They are Ronald and Lydia Fulton. Their children are Celine, Shelby, and Ronald Jr. They call him Baby Boy. Order rounds for us all, rent be damned. Whiskeys and beers for myself and Ronald. A fruity, boozy drink for Lydia. Sprites with extra cherries for the girls, and a milk for Baby Boy. I may not eat well for weeks, but I know a woman at a local shelter who will give me leftovers if I take her dogs out for runs whenever I go for out bike rides in the woods. Lydia graciously thanks me. Baby Boy is deposited in my lap while she digs in a bag for dry clothes. The girls busy themselves playing games under the pool tables, unconcerned with clothes, dry or otherwise. They speak a secret language known only to themselves, interspersing laughter with whispers and made-up words. Roger lifts his glass and toast. Clinking with me, he shoots the whiskey in one gulp. chases with beer as if he was taught by a master. Here's to you, Frank. Here's to you. One hand on my whiskey, one hand on the baby's belly to steady him. I sip my whiskey, the whiskey I cannot afford. This time, it is sweeter as it burns, pausing on my tongue, warming me inside in a way it hasn't in many years. Without a hand to chase beer, I focus on the whiskey. Breathe deeply through my nose, past the smell of cheap Canadian alcohol, past the smell of refurbished felt, slate, craft beer, baby powder, and wet dog. I taste years, generations of whiskey, beer, scratched David Bowie records, neo-punk rock bartenders more fluent in retro-goth politics than the decent working-class bourbon my old pa taught me to drink some 60 years before. I'm carried back to my childhood, bouncing between the laps of my father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, and the old man himself, balancing my sister Mary and me on his even then ancient knees. Always the smell of bourbon floats atop memories of him. Always there are spinning spokes of a bicycle. Yes. Always there is love. In the here and now, a stranger's baby sits in my lap. I'm out of whiskey, out of money, out of family willing to recognize me. Roger and Lydia share with me their children, waiting on a snowy day in a dive bar on the wrong side of town. The growing crowd of bodies generates enough heat to fog the windows. For now, the outside world is hidden. The young man, his wife, and children warm, full of sugar and waiting for Carrie and pizza, have bought me another round. This time it is not cheap Canadian whiskey, but good old-fashioned, American-made, Old Forester Kentucky straight bourbon. He lifts his glass in salute. Entonces, mijo, I say to him in response, lifting my glass high, here's to you, old man. Here's to you. Now I'm done.